Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's look, I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this purple smoky eye. So if you guys are curious on how I got this look, then just please keep on watching. I'm just going to moisturize my face with this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's so good for dry skin. My skin always gets dry around the winter time. So like usual, I'm just gonna go in with my brows first. Brows are always the hardest part of makeup, I feel, because it frames your face and everyone has a different style of how they like their brow. You do your brow how you do it, and I do it how I do it. Don't let anyone tell you what to do in life. You do what you want when you pop in.
Pop it. Yeah. You do what you want when you pop it. You do what you want when you cop it.
Alright. I look a little crazy, but don't worry, we're going to clean it up. Of course, with concealer. You can use whatever concealer you want to use. I'm just using the Age Rewind Instant Erase Concealer from Maybelline. And then just blend the concealer out. Okay, now that brows are done, we can go ahead with the eyeshadow now. I don't know what my hair is doing. Please forgive it, but I just have a little bit clipped, so it's not in my face. I'm just gonna put a little more concealer on the lids just to make sure it's really primed for the shadow so it lasts longer throughout the day. So for today's look, I'm going to be mainly using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette in Bling Boss, and I'll just show you really quick what that looks like. So I'm just going to take a neutral color and just go ahead and throw it in the crease just for a transition shade, because we're going to be using like purples and pinks. I always go back and forth when I'm putting on eyeshadow with like the actual eyeshadow brush I use, and then the Sedona Lace EV13. It's just like a big fluffy brush just to blend everything out. There's no color or anything on it. I just really like to go back in and blend my shadows. Gonna use another tapered blending brush. This one's from Sigma, the E40. That's what it looks like. And then I'm gonna go in and use this Sparks shade right here in the corner. And just tap off the excess because this is a very bold color. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in the crease. The thing about this Jaclyn Hill Morphe Vault collection is that some of these colors can be really patchy when you're putting them on. So you just have to really work with them and blend them all in. And don't worry, when you're working with pinks and purples, you're bound to look like you got punched in the eye, or feel like it at least. But once the foundation and concealer and everything's all done and put together, you'll look like a whole new person. You'll go from damn to damn.
Damn!
Another tip that I like to tell people is that when you're doing makeup, like, you obviously have a mirror right in front of you, but using like a mirror from like a palette or something and kind of positioning it a little lower so you can really see where you're placing that color will be very helpful. Still blending.
A few moments later. One eternity.
Okay, now that we're done blending that shade, I think I'm gonna go in with this shade here called Rockstar. And I'm gonna take that on a smaller blending brush. Let's see, which one do I want to use? I'm gonna go in with the Sigma E25 and just lightly tap my brush into that color and tap off the excess. And we're just gonna put it out on the outer corner to give it a little more dimension. And I'm just lightly placing that color there because I don't want to do windshield wiper motions with it and blend it too crazy, because I want the color to stay in that exact spot. I'm just gonna go in with this Hush shade, just to kind of mute everything out. Just a little bit. If it looks messy, it's okay, because now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and cut the crease with concealer. And this takes some serious focus, but what I'm gonna do is place the concealer on my lid and then carve it out, just so it's easier for when we set down the sparkly shade that I'm about to put on. And I'm gonna go in with Bling Bling and mix it with Glitz and Glam. And then I'm just gonna apply that where I already put the concealer. And you just want to tap it on. You don't want to like blend it on. And then same thing on the other eye. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go back in with one of the brushes that I used before with some of the color still on it but not dipping it back in, and then we're just gonna dab it in where I cut the crease and where the matte shadow is, just so it blends a little more seamlessly, just so it's not as harsh. What I normally like to do after I apply eyeshadow and I know that I'm going to be putting false lashes on, I like to put something in the lash line just so the lashes blend better. So I'm just going to go in actually with this Marc Jacobs liner and just lightly line the top of my lid. And I know you're not really supposed to pull your eye, but I have hooded eyes, so it's a little harder. I just put mascara on to help the fake lashes blend in better with my real ones. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the lashes off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, now that the lashes are on and we're primed, I just use the Radiance Activator from Estee Edit. I like to use it because, like I said, I am a little more drier on this time of the year and it does add a little more dewiness. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my foundation on. You can use whatever foundation you have. I'm just using the Wet n Wild foundation. And just spot that all over your face, and then I'm going to go ahead in with my sponge and then just blend that all out. Alright, next is concealer. I really like to use the concealer to really make the shadow a little more crisp and cleaned up. And I really drag it out and just highlight the high points of the face. And then just blend that out. Okay, now that the concealer is on and blended out, I'm just going to set the face. I'm just going to go underneath and use this Stay Matte Rimmel powder, and this is in the shade 012 Buff Beige. Just really get it in there because you don't want anything to crease. And now it's time to contour. So I'm just gonna go in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and use the two of the lightest shades. And I'm using the Becca brush and just carve out those cheekbones. And if you want, you can go in and just bronze up the face as well, just because the look is so dark on the eyes. And I am a little more pale because it is winter time, so I'm just gonna go in with a bronzer and just give myself a tan. Went a little too crazy with the bronzer, but it's okay, we can fix that. And for blush, I'm gonna go in with Terracotta by NYX. It's a nice bronzy shade. When you go too bronze. Alright, I'm just gonna even that out with the Hot Mama blush. I'm just gonna go back in with that Rimmel Stay Matte powder and clean up underneath. And don't worry if it looks a little too intense right now, we're gonna blend it all out. Trust me, it'll look normal in a minute. I'm just gonna carve out the brow a little more. I'm going in with a nude shade of an eyeshadow and just putting that underneath the brow. Damn, this blush is picking up really orange on camera. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend everything out. And now we look a little more human. So now what I'm gonna do is, damn, I forgot to go in with the liquid highlight first. You know what, folks, don't try this at home, but I am gonna go in with a little bit of the liquid highlight. You never want to do liquid over powder because it breaks it up weird. But I guess I'm being a rebel today. I love these Cover FX drops. They just add an extra oomph to your look. I don't know why I said that, but I just went with it. So we're just gonna let that rock. So now we're gonna go in with the Anastasia Glow Kit, and I'm gonna use the shades Summer, Moonstone, and Tourmaline all together. I'm just gonna go in with this Pro Contour Highlight Brush from Sephora and put a little bit on my nose. Then I'm just going to take this Morphe M510 brush, and then I'm using the same colors, just setting the liquid highlight. Well, damn. Okay, now that we're done highlighting, I'm gonna just brush some of that off. Well, not off, just blending it in. So it's not as intense. There's never such thing as too much highlight. And if someone tells you that, you don't need that negativity in your life. Now it's time to move on to lips. I'm gonna use the MAC lip liner in Whirl. And then I'm just gonna top that lip liner off with a liquid lipstick by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Naked. And this is a really pale nude, well, for me. And I'm just gonna put that on the center of the lips. I'm just gonna go back for the lower lash line. I'm gonna put a black liner underneath the waterline, well, in the waterline. Just gonna make it look a little more smoky. And then I'm just gonna place a little bit of shadow underneath just to smoke it out a little bit more. Just gonna take this Morphe G27 pencil brush, and I'm taking this shade, it's like a light brown shade, and running it underneath the waterline. And then just putting on mascara on the bottom lash line. Just for a final touch, I'm gonna go into my inner corner and just use the highlight I used to highlight my face. Okay guys, so this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, bye!